I will be honest with y'all. One thing that drives me freaking crazy is I was at this free to care conference that y'all may or may not ever heard of out in Austin a week or two ago. And everyone got up there, and there were a lot of doctors there, and they all yapped about all the problems in the healthcare. And I'm sitting here going, I finally just stood up and said, come on, we've known this for 7 years. Are y'all wanting to show how smart you are? I mean, come on. What about the solutions? What do we do to fix it? So I get very frustrated with that narrative, and I'm apologize. I probably didn't know I'm a kind of passionate person since you did listen to the podcast. But you can't, I mean, when you look at a direct primary care doctor, okay, they have a one-on-one relationship with the patient. Some of them may charge $65 for an adult per month. So a husband and wife's $130, $25 for a kid. And a lot of them treat kids age 5 and older. Some will deal with youngers. And then $10 for each kid thereafter. That's certainly where Dr. Gross's prices are. We'll talk about in a minute. So with that, you get unfettered access to that physician all the time, 24/7. And you really have a relationship where they can spend time with you. The direct primary care doctor only will generally accept between 400 to 600 patients on their panel. And a fee-for-service doctor in the world today, and Dr. Waxman, you brought up some points that you were really involved with the patients. I don't know what your patient panel was. But you go in these offices, they have thousands of patients, and therefore they can spend no time with you. The person I saw, and I'll leave the hospital off because my daughter works there now. Oops, I gave that one away. But, they have a physician there, and that I saw some. And, I mean, it was all about, it was literally like this. So Carl, how you doing? Well, I'm doing horrible. I'm about to die, I think. Okay, great. All right, good. I mean, you can't listen to somebody typing medical records in. And that whole system is terrible. My dad, before he retired, he aced the medical record system, but he said, this is a joke. It's only a place. It's only there so the lawyers can sue us. That's what my dad believed.
That's a whole nother topic. And
but
yeah.
It's like Rhonda and I having a call, or if I'm talking to y'all and I'm on the computer, there is no way you can multitask. I'm sorry. There just isn't with 100% attention. Talk to your wife or your spouse and you're on your phone. You can't. So anyway, forget that. But my point is there's thousands of patients in a fee-for-service GP or internist. There is no way they can spend time. So instead of diagnosing situations, what we've seen is they refer to specialists. And I think it comes case in point when I was with Glenn Price, the CFO at the Gas Berlin Hotel, some of y'all heard about, know about. And if, by the way, get the new Physician Outlook magazine. I want to thank Dr. Wu Smith and her team, Dr. Bruce, and all the stuff they did. They dedicated the whole issue to mitigate partners in our event at Gasparilla. So I'm honored, and we're honored, and you'll see it, and it's all in there. And I encourage you to look at it if you haven't had enough of this today. But long story short, Glenn used to see Dr. Gross when Dr. Gross was a fee-for-service doctor. When I told him that DeSoto Memorial, a hospital, was putting in direct primary care and they own doctors, everybody misses that. Why would a hospital put in DPC? I mean, what? So when we did that, I was telling Glenn about it. Glenn goes, y'all are using Dr. Gross? I quit going in because every time I saw him, he referred me to a specialist. Well, since Glenn hadn't seen Dr. Gross in a long time, Dr. Gross changed his business model, as y'all know, and he was kind of one of the few early pioneers in the DPC and in DC and everything legislatively. And that was my point. I told Dr. Gross that story. And so we're all together back in June at that event that the Physician Outlook magazine's about. So I think when you look at it, I'm just telling you from a personal experience and what I've seen, there is no relationship. There is nothing there because you're trying to manage. It's like me trying to have 100 clients. It's not possible to do it the way we do it. So my approach is very similar to a DPC in my business. I don't want a lot of clients. I want good clients that pay me fairly and that I can give good service to, that I can take care of and make a difference for their members. So I think DPC, if I'm answering, I hope I answered your question. It's the one-on-one relationship to me that is extremely different. than when you work with a doctor who's in an insurance company network in a fee-for-service environment. It's night and day. It's not even close.
Thank you so much for joining us for this discussion today. If you'd like to learn more about our guest, head on over to our Patreon page, where you can access exclusive content, including the full segment of our show. Never want to miss an Inside the Doctor's Lounge clip? Be sure to click the subscribe button to our MD Coaches YouTube channel. As always, we appreciate suggestions for future show topics. Let us know what you're thinking in the comments below. And finally, special thanks to Ryan Jones, who created and performs our theme music for the show.